forming queries now. We have got this data which we have entered into our database for students. We need now to make queries to ask this database some questions. So a query is used to retrieve data from the database. The forms we have seen in the previous lecture were used to enter data into the database. Now we are going to create queries, and these queries are going to help us to retrieve some data from the database. So we go to, as you see now, we have tables, we have forms. So when you put queries, again, you are going to see queries here. So you go to create. This time you are going to choose query design. So on the right hand side here, we have different tables that we are having. So we double click a table which we want to create a query from. So the table is student data, double click it. After, we are going to select only the fields that we want to see, want to return from the database, only the fields that we need. So we need the student ID. So we shall double click that. You can also select the fields from down here. So after student ID, the next field I want is the last name. Then the next field I need is the first name. I need the date of birth. Now I don't need the gender. So then I need also the balance. So I'm going to return the student ID, last name, first name, date of birth, balance. Now we have the show here. What is ticked will be shown. Now in case I don't need the date of birth to show, I'll just untick that so it will not show. Now it's going to show. So then I'm going to click on run. So as you can see, I have student ID, last name, first name, date of birth, balance. But if I realize that I don't need the date of birth, I need only the ID, last name, first name, and balance. So I can deactivate the date of birth by going to the views here. We have datasheet view, SQL view, and design view. So we go to the design view. Then we are going to remove the date of birth. We are going to run the query again. So we are going to save this query. We are going to call it list of students. So as you can see now, we have the query has come, we have table, query, and we have the form. Let's create another query. Now again, from this data, we want a query that is going to return the student ID, then the last name, first name, and then the gender. But now under gender, okay, gender and let's balance. But under gender, we need to return only female students. Only female students. So we are going to come to criteria, that row for criteria. Then we come to gender. Then we type F. So that means we need only female students. So we are going to run the query. And as you can see here, we have only female students. So we are going to save this query as female students. We are going to make another query which is going to return only male students. So this time I'm taking the last name, first name, gender, and balance. But this time I'm returning only male students. So returning only male students. Then we run the query. So we have only male. So we save this as male students. Now we are going to run a query which is going to return all the students who have a school fees balance. Those who have zero, we are not interested in them. So we go to query. So we need a student ID, need last name, first name, shall need the gender, and we shall need the balance. But remember, in our criteria, we need only those students who have some balance. Those who have zero, we don't need them. So we are going to, under the criteria, we are going to say greater than 0. So we need all those students who are above 0. Then we are going to run our criteria. There's a mistake here. So we are going to say greater than 0, and we are going to run. So as you see, we have all those who have balances. So we can save this as fees balance. Now we are going to make a query for all those students who have completed their fees. So we go to create, query design again. So we need this time those who have completed the balance, and under the criteria here we are going to say less than 0. So we are just going to say 0, those who have 0. Then we are going to run. So as you can see, we have all those who have 0 balance. So we are going to save that query as completed fees. So you can make as many queries as you can. So if I need the fees, those who have balance of fees, if I need the female students, if I need the full list of students. So in the next video, we are going to see how we make reports, and reports come from queries. So remember, we started with creating tables, then we went to forms, we have done queries, so we are finally going to do reports. So a database is in Access consists of tables, forms, queries, and reports. Queries, you can search more over the internet for more notes about queries, and also the lecture notes, the handouts which I gave. Let's meet in the next video where we are going to see how we create forms, reports.